The NFL just lifted Rona Protocols for the most part. Legend Adam Vinatieri decides to finally call it quits after a 24-year legendary career. And Miami Dolphins quarterback Tua Tagovailoa didn't know his own playbook in 2020. All coming up in today's edition of the Don Mafia Report. Yo ho ho, Don Mafia. Welcome to yet another edition of the Don Mafia Report. You did read the title correctly. We have some pretty interesting stories today. Of course, paying tribute to one of the best kickers ever to do it in Adam Vinatieri. And then, of course, we have to talk about Tua and the Miami Dolphins and his struggles in the 2020 season. Can he recover? Probably not, but who knows? And we are about to dive into all of those topics here in just a quick second. And I actually only have one announcement today, which is fantastic. On Friday, I am dropping my very first live show, Don Mafia Live. I've done live Q&As before, but this is legitimately going to be structured like a football television show covering across the entire NFL. I'm going to be having special guests on. I'm going to be having a bunch of ridiculous segments. So definitely do me a favor and set your reminders for that live show right now. That link is in the description. Set your reminder and be there. Trust me, you do not want to miss it. It is about to blow your mind. First story today, Don Mafia. The NFL decided to lift a lot of protocols within these NFL organizations as long as you are vaccinated. I ended up finding an article on NFL.com really highlighting some of the concerns and some of the implementations that have already been made. For the most part, players that have been vaccinated are essentially working out during these OTAs and once training camp begins on a fairly normal basis. Now, while the NFL will not mandate the vaccination, essentially coming out and saying that they are not going to make their players take it. Rather, what they are wanting to do is educate their players on the importances of the vaccine and then at the same time provide some type of incentives. Some of these incentives include not having to wear a mask. Some of the other incentives include that you don't need to be 6 feet away from everybody at all times as long as they're vaccinated as well. So really giving them a taste of what it's like to normally prepare for the upcoming season. And now, as far as the status of all of these vaccinations, according to this article, this is where the majority of the NFL franchises are at this point. And Commissioner Roger Goodell said on a conference call with reporters that 30 of 32 teams have more than 90% of their Tier 1 and Tier 2 personnel, coaches and staff, vaccinated, and the remaining 2 teams are above 85%. The NFL has previously told teams that personnel whose jobs put them into contact with players will have to be vaccinated, and Goodell said Wednesday the NFL expects the number of vaccines to climb among staff, but Goodell did not answer a direct question about what percentage of players have taken the vaccine. At this point, we're really going to see how this all plays out. Do me a favor, leave a comment. What are your thoughts on this entire situation? Let's move on. Second story, and a bittersweet one. In my opinion, the best kicker ever to exist, Adam Vinatieri, has retired after 24 seasons. That's right, he kicked a football until his 75th birthday, ladies and gentlemen. But in all seriousness, he announced this on the Pat McAfee Show yesterday. And as soon as when he announced this, obviously, the way that the NFL should have acted gave him nothing but praise on all social media. And you could see Vinatieri getting praise from his current team, Julian Edelman, Reggie Wayne, and of course his old teammate, Teddy Bruschi. Now, looking at Vinatieri's career, there's no question in my mind that he will be without a doubt a first ballot Hall of Famer. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. As far as speculation of him retiring, that has been, I would say, going on for about 2 to 3 years. That 1 year where he was struggling tremendously, where he was just missing field goal after field goal after field goal. There was rumors that he was going to call it quits, I want to say, about 2 years ago. But at the end of the day, this guy is a damn Iron Man. He's been in the league since I was 9 years old. That's pretty insane. Regardless, hands down, first ballot Hall of Famer. Adam Vinatieri, we definitely appreciate all of the entertaining last-minute game winners you provided us as NFL fans. We will certainly not forget you. You are a damn legend. Final story. Tua Tagovailoa. Tua Tagovailoa. And you know what? F it. I'm just going to look it up.
Can you, once and for all, pronounce your last name for us?
Tagovailoa. So you say tongue first, O-Vailoa. Tagovailoa.
Tua Tagovailoa. Tua fine, to a T, was recently interviewed and was questioned exactly what his thoughts were during his rookie season with the Miami Dolphins. And a lot of his answers shocked myself. And then as Miami Dolphins fans, you guys, I'm sure that perhaps you may have thought the exact same thing. But when asked over his overall review, this is exactly what Tua had to say. Last year for me, I wasn't as comfortable just in general. I wasn't comfortable calling plays. I think the guys that we had last year were phenomenal. I just didn't have the comfortability of checking plays. I just rode with the play, even if I knew in a way that it wasn't going to work. I was going to try and make it work. But the firepower we have this year, I mean, it's good, but you got to get it out of them too. And if you're able to protect yourself, then get it out to them and have them make plays, then you'll be good. And after reading this, I see this as a perfect opportunity for me to recycle a joke that I posted on Twitter just about a couple of hours ago, saying I can't imagine 200 pages full of checkdowns would be difficult to understand. Let's put my dig against the Miami Dolphins aside here. And it's definitely interesting to look at the way that this rookie has made the adjustment into the NFL. Now, granted, he was drafted in a top 5 role, and I'm not a Miami Dolphins fan, clearly, but I know a lot of you who do follow the Dolphins, I think that you were probably expecting a bit more from a guy that was a top 5 draft pick. Now, listen, it wasn't all Tua's fault. Number one, he ended up getting thrown into the Wolves rather than being developed under Ryan Fitzmagic. And it's going to take some time to make that type of adjustment. On top of that as well, he was also recovering from that nasty hip injury that he got the year before he went into the NFL. And according to Tua, he ended up mentioning, and that his hips feel a lot better. So realistically, we're going to have to see how Tua makes this adjustment into 2021 or if he's frankly just bullshitting everybody. And in all honesty, I know that me and TD Finstock sort of have like a funny little rivalry and stuff along those lines. I think Tua is a good quarterback. I think that he's promising. And don't get me wrong, the Bills are still going to kick your ass this year. But I wouldn't be giving up on him just based off of the season that he ended up putting out in 2020. Pretty impressive for the most part. Thank you so much for tuning in to yet another edition of the Don Mafia Report. Make sure to show up 7 o'clock p.m. EST Friday night for Don Mafia Live. You are not going to want to miss it. I will see you tomorrow. And before I let you go, always remember, let's go Buffalo.